All right, y'all. It's your boy DJ Kdot, the party. I am your host with the most. I'm also quite nasty on those ones and twos because you already know I make it do what it do. Welcome to the Kdot experience. Thank you guys for being here. Okay. Never really got the chance to. Well, first of all, today's show is about. We're gonna break down some things. Uh, Maybe some people here in Colorado. Maybe there is some people aren't people that are joining the live. Maybe they're not from Colorado, but it'd be a good source of information to know as far as the Colorado revised statutes and Aurora police policies. We're just going to specifically focus on Aurora's policies and uh, Colorado revised statute. At least that is dealing with the Colorado Constitution. So, thank you guys for being here. Let's see, we got Police to Police 719, Anonymous, Spot Check News, Howard County Observer. What's up? The music startled you? That's funny. All right. Well, I do have a guest for today and a co-host. Police to Police 719. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me, kind sir.
We are going to go over some things because we notice a lot that we say a lot of the laws and we shout out policy while we're cop watching, correct? And so, but we never really had a time to really just break things down and what Colorado statutes meant and kind of break them down and in what scenario and all those particular type of things, because we want to make sure that we educate the people to use the laws in the right way. I want to be clear. The reason why I started cop watching was because Elijah McClain, because I wanted to make sure that no one in my neighborhood was being abused anymore by Aurora police. But I sometimes I might recite the laws too quickly, or maybe you don't understand them. And this is what this show is here today. Um, and we'll probably do another show like this for Denver police next time, and then maybe Colorado Springs and their policy. Um, but today we're just going to focus on Aurora. I would agree with you. Yes, Aurora PD is trash. I would agree.
Man, so how do you feel about what they did to Regan Benson? That pissed me off.
Yeah. So we're just going to go over. So we're going to go over some of the policies and where you guys can actually find the policies online, and it is public record. But at least I will walk you guys through it just so that you guys have a better understanding. Um, so so we can get that broken down. What was spot check? What was spot check? I was on a call. Uh, um, Kelly C, don't start no shit. Don't start no shit. Uh, come correct. Of course, that's why I'm doing the show for. Yeah, so we'll be going through the main policies that we're actually going to be going through is the dealing with people with public photography, and um, how that they adopted really the CRS 16-3-311 and Colorado Revised Statute 13-120 21-128. So and we will also talk about the obstruction part of it, and we will talk about uh, uh, we will talk about
What about
the the I'm sorry. Oh, asking for name, badge numbers, and card, and how they need to probably better articulate. It's kind of vague, but we all understand uh, uh, when we ask for your ID and badge number, you need to go ahead and give it as much as possible, so or quickly as possible. So, um, so uh, yeah, but that's yeah, but Kelly, sometimes you be having some smart shit to say, but that's all right. It's all good. Uh, it's all love, Kelly. Um, all right, let's get started. So we're gonna walk through. I don't know. Did you catch my last night's live?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay. So let me share this real quick, I guess. Um, let's see. Da 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 da. Oh man, where's the? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Oh, it looks different. Okay, it's not share anymore. Okay.
Yeah, YouTube did an update.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was looking like, what the fuck? Wait.
Yeah, so,
Okay, so you. All
so
right, so I wasn't tripping.
now you actually like, let's say you're texting someone, right? But you're watching the YouTube video. You could still play the YouTube video while texting someone.
Okay. All right.
It's definitely weird now, but I like it for the better.
So what you guys want to do is type in. Usually me, I usually type in Aurora police policy, and then it's going to bring you to a screen that says Aurora. It's going to going to be Aurora directives manual. Click on the button that says Aurora directives manual, and it will bring you to this particular screen. Okay. Can you see the screen? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna. There you go. There you go. Just so people can see the screen a little bit better. Um. Let's see. All right. So let's walk. Let's walk through it. Oops. God damn it. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. So where you wanna go is so obviously this is the Aurora Police Department. I believe it is all forms. We're gonna click through here. Oh, they also have the consent decree external revenue. If you guys are interested in looking at that, as far as reading the whole entire consent decree, which we definitely don't have enough time for. uh, um, all right, and I was on here this morning, so I was kind of going through some things. So please be patient with me.
So I do have a question for you since we're talking about Aurora.
Yeah, go ahead.
You remember back in July of
Mhm.
they that cop pistol whipped that black man?
Yes, you're talking about Kyle. Uh, Jesus.
I forget his name.
Uh, I do know what you're talking about. Yes, I do. Yes.
Is there any update on the charges on the male officer for that?
What? Like, what's the update for that?
Yeah, like is he still pending charges? Has he went to court? Um,
Mm-hmm.
like have we heard anything about the outcome?
Great question. I have. They have not. No news outlets have updated information or anything like that
Okay.
on the pending trial. So, and I do know that they're. I think they are going to trial, if I'm not mistaken. So, um,
Yeah, last I heard, the cop pleading not guilty.
right, which is.
More than enough evidence to convict.
He was clearly guilty as fuck. That's for sure. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I'm sorry. So where you want to go is under all citywide policies, all APD
Okay.
policies, huh?
Sorry, I got a phone call and I wasn't sure if you guys.
So you want to go to, I believe it's standard. No, it's not this one. Directive manuals here. Okay. So all citywide policies, all APD policies, directive manual, and you want to go to the 8th chapter. Okay. Go to the 8th chapter. And those are going to be becoming of an becoming of an officer. They're going to talk about public photography, and all of those things. So we're going to dive right in. And PTP, if you can also keep up with the comments, because I can't necessarily see it right now because I'm trying to. So I'm not trying to be rude, y'all. I'm just trying to guide this on. Can you see the comments? Okay.
Yeah. I'm reading them right now. Struck by Lightning says hello with the heart, and then she says hello, PTP 719. Good to see you, Struck by Lightning. Good to see you.
Yes. And thank you guys for being here, by the way, because I felt this was important to do because, people can say something and then you'll be like, well, shit, was it? Well, is that their policy or is that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Kelly C said, I did not, or I'm not getting notification. Like, what the hell?
Oh, you didn't. I don't. I don't know why.
Kelly C also said, you could put a link of this in your community page so others could find it better? Question mark.
Yeah, I'm also going to try to do that as well, putting the link so you guys can go straight to it. But I wanted to also kind of walk you guys through it as well.
Also,
So,
Top is going to court next month for that.
who?
Kelly C said the cop is going to court next month for that.
Okay, next month. Okay, I knew it was coming up. So thank you for that update. Appreciate you. Okay, so we're gonna dive into.
Then there's one more by Kelly C. I just wanted to state this real quick.
All
You
right.
up on public record through the Colorado District Court docket.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let's see. All right. So we'll kind of go through some of them, at least the titles. So we have. Um, Obviously, this is you'll find everything in general operations. Okay. Those are the chapters, chapter 8. So you'll have uniform attire requirements, um, how APD is supposed to look as far as in their uniform. They have leave of absence. They have court. So it probably specifies about uh, being the court proceedings, the rules of court, how to present themselves, making sure that they're there at every court proceeding, especially if has anything to do with traffic tickets and all those type of things. There is call priority, destinations, public information, social resource of juvenile and adults, department involvement in recruitment, uh, a manual on property evidence, process entering. So when they get the evidence, they make sure that they departmentalize the property and making sure that it goes in the or categorize the evidence to make sure it goes in the right evidence bin, whether it be homicide, narcotics, and I'm sure that you dealt with that as well too, right? PTP as far
Yeah,
as
yeah.
so
Uh, so with the evidence, when I got arrested back in June of 2021, I believe is what it was. They confiscated my firearm for evidence, and it took over a year to get that firearm back, even with the
right,
judge saying the firearm needed to be arrested immediately.
right. Um, they cover reports on how officers are supposed to structure their reports. I know in a lot of the policies, they tell you to leave your own feelings out of it and stick straight to objective facts, um, so um, that the report is completely accurate, making sure that they're honest in everything that they report.
I do want to mention
So,
a thing also that a
go
lot of
ahead.
people don't know. I found this out from my attorney, or actually my legal team, because I got a team of attorneys. Same with the judge, the presiding judge on the case from when I got arrested. So let's say um, you get arrested, right? Or they take evidence. Let's say it's
Hmm.
a firearm. It could be anything. It could be a cell phone. It could be a watch. It could be anything. Firearm, whatever. If you're found in it, you go to trial and you're found not guilty, and the case is won, right, by you, the defense, by the defense team, the case is won. The judge could deny releasing evidence even though you won the case.
Okay.
I think that's a good thing to cover in the state of Colorado. So even if you do win a case or the case is dismissed, the presiding judge of that case could say, you know what, I don't feel like this evidence needs to be returned back to the defendant, but the case is dismissed, and then you don't get your property back. So I think that's a little fucked up in my opinion, but that's just how it is.
Okay. That's all right, guys. So what we're first going to go over is observers to observe. They call us observers. Observers to and individuals recording scenes of police incidents. Okay. So this was approved by Nick Metz, chief of police at the particular time, the one who was in charge when Elijah McClain early demise. So we're gonna break this down, okay? And we're going to cover this real quick. So we have a clear understanding of their policy and where you can go. So it is 08.40. Again, 08.40, and that's where you can find the particular policy at under obviously chapter 8 general operations. Okay, can you see that, PTP? Do I need to zoom in more?
Just a little bit more.
Yeah, no problem. Just tell me when to stop.
That's perfect.
That's perfect. Okay, perfect. All right, guys, give me a 1 or a 2 if you guys can see it.
I'll be right back. I'm going into the corner store real quick.
Okay. Give me a 1 or 2 if you guys can see. 1 if you can see it. If you 2 if you can't. Do I need to do it a little closer, or are we good? Okay. Thank you, Howard County Observer. Appreciate it. 1 from him. Okay. All right. All right, let's get into it. Okay. So 08.40. Observers at scenes of police incidents. Let's scroll down a little bit. There you go. Roll it. This directive applies to all sworn police department personnel. As a rule, when a peace officer stops, detains, or arrests a person in a public area, or any governmental actions take place in public area, persons who happen to be in the area or in an area immediately attached or adjacent to the public area are naturally in a position to and are allowed to observe and record government actions. The right to observe and record is, of course, limited by reasons of safety to all concerned. The following guidelines should be used by all members of the department whenever the above situation exists. Basically, as far as when they're talking about safety concerns, if you obviously see a tape being brought up or being put up, it probably wouldn't be wise to go past that tape because you can get arrested. Or if they're in the middle of, I don't know, possibly a shootout, obviously You don't want to be injured. But also remembering the case law, Gonzalez versus Castle Rock, the town of Castle Rock, you are responsible for your safety. Police in the United States are not responsible for your safety as far as lawfully. Maybe policy wise, but lawfully they are not responsible for your safety. Okay. Now, a person remaining in the vicinity, meaning the area, and or attempts to lawfully records an incident involving an officer shall not be subject to arrest for obstructing a peace officer or firefighter, obstructing municipal government operations, or disorderly conduct, failing to obey a lawful order. Now, I'm glad this is in bold letters. Uh, Reason being is because this is where so many officers really screw up. Okay, they really screw up in this particular area. Is because I'm simply recording, and just because the scene is in the particular street, still a public area. I'm on a sidewalk. They claim that I'm in their scene, which I'm not. I'm not in their scene. Um, and not only that, if they try to give you directives and then you're combative and not compliant with those unlawful directives, by the way, then they'll try to use disorderly conduct. You have to obey a lawful order. If I tell you to back up, that I'm giving you a lawful order. Okay, lawful and then order. Okay, that order has to be followed up with a articulable concept of the law. So if you tell me to back up, you have to tell me what law states that I have to back up and stop filming or stop my First Amendment uh, federally protective activity as far as recording of police. Why do I have to stop that? You have to follow that up with a lawful order, not just an order, or and don't fall for that officer safety bullshit either. Okay, don't fall for that.
I'm back, by the way. I don't know if you can hear me.
I heard you.
Okay.
And see, I was just going over this obstructing. So they're basically letting the officers know you cannot use, if a person's recording, you cannot use or instruct them to stop what their First Amendment protected activity, but or firefighter obstructing municipal government operations. You can't say they're being disorderly, and you can't intimidate them by saying, whatever I say is a lawful order. And
correct.
So they'll try this on you because they're under the assumption that most people do not know their own rights. Okay. That's going to be farther and farther and farther from the truth as long as you guys keep watching our videos, go to the law library, actually Google some of this shit, as far as making sure that you're up to date on all your laws, okay, and your rights. Okay, or like ordinance or statute, unless the officer can articulate a specific probable cause. So in a war, they can only use probable cause. In any of the manual that I've read, it didn't say anything about reasonable articulable suspicion, which is actually a higher bracket of suspicion, because there's probable cause, and then there's reasonable articulable suspicion. But again, we go off of reasonable articulable suspicion just in case um, they try to do some stupid shit and try to lock us up on just mere suspicion. And this is why it's so important for you guys to know you guys' rights. It's imperative.
Correct.
Um,
And since we're speaking of suspicion, okay, I just want to throw this out here.
mhm.
Elijah McClain would still be here today if it wasn't for the cops and the negligence of taking suspicion as a crime in their opinion. Just saying that.
Right, right. Keeper of the list said probable cause. Yeah, so they don't even have in their manual. It doesn't even say reasonable articulable suspicion. It just says probable cause, um, which is now I don't, I don't. I think Denver's is a little different, but I don't know. Could be wrong. But the time being, when we get to uh, when we get to that, because I also want to do Denver's. Now, mind you, Denver's is 807 pages. um, that's a lot. It's a whole lot. Hey, how you doing, Roar Transparency? Okay.
Good to see you, Aurora Transparency. Hopefully everything's going good.
Um, and you know what? I'll go ahead and Aurora, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to. I'll put or anybody that might have a question uh, about the particular policy that would be going up. This is the link to come up if you guys want to.
I would love
Um,
for Aurora Transparency and get her opinion on this.
yeah, I think it would be important for her to come up. Um, it'd be a good thing. Okay, so uh, now it says like ordinance or statute unless the officer can articulate a specific probable cause to believe the person is committing one of these offensive independent his or her mere presence in the vicinity, his or her observing the officer's actions, his or hers speaking to the officer, or his or hers recording the officer's actions. Okay, B. Section B. None of the following probable cause for arrest or detention of any of, or I'm sorry, detention of an onlooker, uh, onlooker, observer, and or recorder unless the safety of officers or other persons is directly endangered or the officers reasonably believes and can articulate that the officer or others are endangered in or are endangered or the law is otherwise being violated. Okay. One, speech alone that does not create the likelihood of violent physical response, nor matter how vulgar or crude. Let me read that again. I'm talking about language, speech alone. You cannot use speech alone as obstruction. Are you paying attention, APD? I hope you're, because I know you're watching. I'm going over your manual right now. I'm going over your manual. Speech alone. Uh, all right, y'all. We got award transparency in the building. Hey, mamas, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. We're just going over the uh, directive manual of Aurora Police, kind of breaking certain things down, and yeah. So
Nice. Oh my God. I just got back from court because someone stole my mom's car on September. Oh no, right? right before Labor Day, the Friday before Labor Day.
Uh-huh.
And they found her car 2 weeks later, and they they think they found who stole it because they were stripping the car. The cop happened to stumble upon it, and they had fentanyl and guns and a clip that was too big for the gun. Well,
Whoa.
it's legal in Colorado, but when when an extended clip becomes illegal is when you're in the middle of a crime. So since he had drugs on him, it now makes it illegal. So if anybody has a extended clip on their shit and you happen to have any kind of drugs on you, watch out because that clip will no longer be legal.
Whoa.
So, anyways,
Hold
did
on.
you know?
You said a magazine to a firearm?
Yeah. Plus
So,
the
hold on.
firearm.
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
They found the magazine, an extended clip magazine, plus the firearm, plus bullets.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And
So
and
so in the in the state of Colorado, this passed in 2013. So anything after July 1st, 2013, you can only have a 15 round magazine for any firearm. It cannot exceed 15 rounds. So
okay.
yeah, so that's a new law that just passed in 2013, right? Of July
Right.
1st. But if you
Okay.
had that magazine before July 1st, 2013, let's say it's a 30 round magazine, you're grandfathered in by state law.
Okay. Well, it don't matter because that was a stolen gun, anyways.
Well, yeah.
But they were saying if it was okay, so that's probably what they're talking about is the grandfathered in law. But if you're doing anything illegal and you have an extended clip, be careful. Don't get caught. But anyways, they couldn't. Oh my God, Aurora PD needs to get their shit together. Oh my God, this whole. Okay, did you know they cannot? Aurora PD does not have any ways to test drugs if it's truly fentanyl because the public pretender for the dude that stole my parents' car asked the cop,
Mm-hmm.
Did you test the because he kept calling it a little blue pill. Oh, it's a little blue pill." And she goes, "Well, do you know what else is called a little blue pill? Have you ever heard of Viagra?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it." And he goes, "But I've seen." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And he goes, "Well, we don't have a way to test if this is fentanyl," and they really do. It came out. We looked it up on our way home from the court. Right now, Carlos was like all investigating. There is a way to test it. California has these little test strips that you can test if it really is fentanyl. But here in Colorado, they don't test. They just assume. So
Oh wow.
if anybody gets caught with fentanyl, don't ever take a plea. Tell them, "Oh yeah, test it." They won't test it because they don't have any way to test it here. So it's all hearsay. It's crazy. I mean, and then he was a horrible, horrible witness. And hey Artie. Um she or he would say something and then like 2 minutes later the public pretender for the guy goes, "Well, do you remember saying such and such?" And he goes, "No, when did I say that?" She's like, 2 minutes ago. And I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with Aurora? I mean, they can't even help you when you're a fucking victim. They, they, the way they arrested this kid, plus the two other, okay, there was two other kids with them. I call them kids. They're in their 20s. I'm old enough
Okay.
to, if anybody's half my age, you're a kid. um, they just gave the other two kids that were actually in the car just tickets when they
Right.
had my parents' car totally stripped. Parts were all over in the parking lot, and they just gave them a ticket and release. They couldn't prove that they stole the car. All they did was trespass him from the car. All he got was a trespass. It's like there's. I understand if you okay. if you're holding something that's not yours and you're taking it apart, actively taking it apart, there's got to be some, I don't know the law like that. So, but there's got to be something we can charge these people. I understand that you can't charge them for actually stealing the car. Fair enough, because they couldn't prove that he stole it. He's just in possession of it now. Fair enough. I totally get that. But
well, maybe that might not necessarily be true if they have DNA evidence and they,
I mean, they caught him inside the car.
You said what?
He was inside the car when they caught him.
Yeah. So the way the law is written, right? And I could be wrong. Correction. I'm not 100% sure, but last time I checked, Colorado cops always charge people if they're driving a stolen vehicle for the stolen vehicle.
Yeah, one would think.
I mean, I was a cop for almost 4 years of my life, and it's only happened once. It only happened once to me where I pulled a stolen vehicle over, but I charged the son of a bitch for being in possession of a stolen vehicle. We couldn't say he stole it, but you could be charged with the possession of a stolen property.
Yeah,
yes, you can. You can be charged with that. Yeah.
That's why I think they were more going after the drugs and the guns, because which really sucks, and I'm so mad that he happens to be here illegally from El Salvador, which really sucks, because goddamn you put in a bad name for people who really are fleeing this horrible ass country, as if we don't have enough people that hate you. I'm just like, you stupid ass.
Wow.
But, and my mom even wrote a letter saying, because we all know jail ain't gonna fix him. He's here. I'm sure that's probably why he's doing what he's doing, because he can't get a job because he's here illegally. Makes sense. I mean, I'm not saying what he did was right. It's fucked up to all hell. My poor parents are, my dad has leukemia. I have to drive them to doctor's appointments at least 3 times a week, which is fine. I'll do it, forever.
No, it's not okay.
Right. But it's the whole situation really is sad, and the way Aurora is handling this, it's just like, you guys had an open shut case, and I can't believe they're not testing for fentanyl. They just automatically assume. So if anybody gets caught with any kind of drugs, be like, go test it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, Aurora, you got to go get that get your discovery.
Yes.
Here.
Yes. Yeah. I know. I'm gonna go down there tomorrow.
I'll go down there with you if you want me to. I think I don't have to be to work until 1, so I can go down there with you if you want me to.
Text me.
Okay, I'll do.
I have your number, so we can hook up.
Perfect.
Okay.
We can get that. We'll get that done.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's get back to this manual, because I think it's crucial for you too, Aurora, because we get all the Aurora stuff, me and you for sure. Okay, so what I was just saying that it states here, speech alone that does not create the likelihood of a violent physical response, no matter how vulgar or crude.
Right.
So basically, as long as I can cuss all I want to, I can use vulgar or colorful language all I want to, as long as I'm not threatening you. Okay. Right. And make sure when you guys in between of maybe cussing them out, make sure you repeat that and state that on camera that that's why, when I got arrested that one time, I'm not, long as I'm not threatening you, I might be hurting your feelings, but
yeah.
Wait. So I got a question for you then.
Go ahead.
Wouldn't this help out in Regan Bentz's new case from being charged with harassment, supposedly?
For sure. What happened to Regan Benson should have never happened, because first of all, the security who claimed to say they don't want her in the store, okay? So meaning she's not in the store, right? They're not custodians of the property. Okay. The property management team did not state they don't want Regan on the property. Regan was outside. She just got done shopping. inside of the store. So that makes them look even worse, King Supers. They because Regan actually shopped in your damn store and spent $170, and then you call the police on her to have her arrested for trespass. Wait a minute. You know how I mean you do. I mean, if I was the judge on this case, I'm like, I'm not touching this shit.
Right?
Dismissed
You can't make this
immediately.
shit up.
Not only that, I would have asked, okay, if I was the prosecutor, okay, well, who is the custodian? Is this security custodian of just the store or of the property? No, they're not custodian of the property. They're custodian of the store. Okay, well, they don't have jurisdiction to give any type of authority. Once she's out of the store or past the point of way past the point of sale and the exterior sidewalk, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. Sorry, not sorry, but she's no longer in the store.
Yep.
That's where they fucked. I'm telling you, he just fucked himself. But all right, so now we'll go over number 2: requesting and making notes of badge numbers, names, car numbers, or agencies. So um, if they trip or whatever and say that, oh, you can't get my VIN number, you can't get the license plate, you can't write any of those particular things down, my badge number, they try to cover, they can't do that. That's obstructing. That's obstructing your public photography. As far as taking written notes, taking photographs, video recording, or audio recording. Number 5, remaining in the vicinity of a stop, detention, or arrest. So it's saying that, look, you can be in the actual vicinity of the scene as long as you're not obstructing, meaning a physical, which goes back to number 1, speech alone. You cannot prosecute me off of just speech alone. Sorry.
Right.
So this, if you guys inspiring cop watchers in Aurora, make sure you read this. Go back on this video. Because not a lot of I'm not saying that cop watchers don't do this, but they don't go into detail. As far they'll take bits and clips and tell you this is the link where you can find it out. But I want to, I had time today, and I was just like, well, why don't we just break some things down and actually go over some things. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Now it says members of department, which is the police, or civilian employees as well, will not attempt to block cameras or microphones or inhibit a person's ability to record government actions unless it is specifically necessary to protect evidence, and then only by protecting the scene and not specifically approaching the onlooker and or recorder to block his or her view. Now, Aurora, I understood that perfectly.
Yeah.
So what they mean is that you can, as long as you put tape up
One.
or it's a restricted access of an area where they're covering a crime scene where you can't go in, they can't approach you. If anything, if there's evidence all over the place or whatever, they have to block it up with tape.
Right.
Okay. They can't just be like, oh, you can't go in this particular area. No, you have to tape it up.
Yep.
If I can't, tape it up.
Yep.
So that's what they mean by that. Okay.
Which
Let's see.
that's understandable and respectable. You know, like say
Yeah,
it's a
sure.
homicide, right? And there's a body on the, somewhere in the sidewalk or whatever the fuck, and
Right.
they just got there.
Yeah.
That's responsible or not responsible. That's respectable.
Right.
Right. But at the end of the day, but let's be honest, guys. How many times has mainstream media covered them wheeling out dead bodies, um, and putting them in the in the coroner's vehicle? You know what I'm saying? We've seen that for years.
Right.
Yep.
You know, when it comes to mass shootings, serial killings, just killings, period.
And
Um,
and we've all, DJ. I think you've covered murder scenes, right?
yes, I've covered a murder scene. I think it was a few months ago.
Okay.
We've covered a stabbing.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that. And then we did that shooting with MLH, you and I.
yes, we did that.
Yeah, but
And
it's like if you look at your channel, my channel, and MLH's channel, we're respectable. If we like, I've covered severe accidents where people died
right,
before, and I didn't I showed the car, but I showed bits and pieces, not enough where you've seen the white tarp knowing someone was deceased. Because I'm that type of person of like, that's someone's son, that's
Right.
someone's family member. I
right.
want to know your respect. I don't know you
And
personally.
I think when I was covering that murder, that or whatever happened. Well, I don't know if it was a murder. I think somebody might have passed away. We'll just say that somebody passed away because I don't know verbatim if it was a murder, but I know there was a body on that gurney. So uh, I think the respectful thing to do first from the police agency and the coroner's officer is to cover up the body
Yeah.
before you bring it out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course.
I think that's just the respectful thing to do, in my opinion. Uh, so, but yeah, I usually if it's like out there, I think I even like kind of moved the camera away a little bit, and then I brought it back when they officially covered up the body or whatever. So just out of respect.
Right. Yeah,
Of-
I've covered a murder scene too. I don't need to leave my apartment complex.
What was it that shooting at that bus stop or?
No, actually, somebody got shot inside their apartment.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Yeah, it was gnarly.
Oh man.
Whoa!
Yeah.
See, I used to live in the ghetto in the Springs too. Like gunshots will always happen. Like
Yeah.
there was one time I was sitting in my apartment, and I was about to go to bed, and my roommate was gone, and I heard like fucking 5 shots. Well, before the shots happened, I got up to go to the kitchen, and I was sitting in the gaming chair. As soon as I got up, I hear pop, 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 pop. Right, so I fucking dropped to the floor, and right where I was sitting, a fucking bullet came through my apartment. Well, I called the cops, right? And I was like, hey, someone's screaming. I think someone shot. No one was shot. I think it was just like someone involved or whatnot. But it took them an hour to respond to that shooting.
That was quick.
Oh yeah, that's great timing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, here I literally live less of not quite a mile, like 0.8 of a mile from the Aurora headquarters, and my elderly neighbors were getting totally beat up by a crackhead. They literally was sitting there smoking crack on their doorstep, and they were like, "Oh, can you go smoke that crack somewhere else, please?" They weren't even threatening to call the police or anything. They were just like, "Please move." Well, it escalated. The little elderly couple got hurt, and they called the police, and the police didn't show up for like another 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And
It's
so
crazy.
that is crazy though. Wow.
Like there was one time I forget. I remember now. Before I moved out, there was a white guy. There was domestic violence, and he pulled a gun out, and he let off a round into the door of where his girlfriend or wife, whatever they were, was living. And then he was waving the gun around. While I was coming up the stairs to go into my apartment, he pointed his gun at me. And he was like, mind your fucking business. And he was just whacked the fuck out, you know. And I was like, listen, I have nothing to do with you, bro. And he's like, I should fucking kill you, you know. Well, he seen that I had a gun on my hip. And he was like, are you going to fucking kill me? And I was like, listen, I'm not going to do shit. Let me go to my apartment. Let me enjoy myself. So I called the cops as soon as I get in the apartment. They took like an hour. No, maybe like 30 minutes at most. Well, there was a black dude like months later, almost the same thing, but without the gun. They showed up 5 minutes. Tell me that ain't biased.
Wow. That is, man, that's crazy. All right, guys, we're gonna finish the rest of this real quick. Okay, so we went over number one. Advise the person of his or her name, his or her badge number or other identifying number, and the name of the department. When it comes to well, actually, hold on. I think I skipped that part. Hold on. I did skip a part. Hold on. My bad. Okay. It says officers are prohibited from destroying and damaging any recording devices or recording what was taken or attempted to be taken in a lawful manner. This particular part of the policy applies to Colorado Revised Statute 13-21-128. Okay. They are not allowed to touch your shit, okay, at all, unless they have a summons from or a warrant, or I'm sorry, not a summons, I mean a subpoena and or a warrant from a judge that is signed. So also officers are prohibited in seizing a recording or recording device without consent or search warrant, subpoena, as I just said, or lawful exception to the warrant requirement. Regardless, you have to have something signed by a fucking judge. If the officer seeks to obtain a device used to record an incident involving an officer in order to access the recording as possible evidence in an investigation, the officer will notify the appropriate supervisor as soon as possible regarding the need to obtain the video evidence. So they're supposed to, if they, even before they do all of that, they're supposed to make sure that their supervisors are notified on this. The officer or supervisor shall first advise the person of his or her name or badge number or other identifying number and the number of the department. Identify the legal reason for which the information is requested, and if practicable, under the circumstances, inquire whether the person will voluntarily provide the officer with a copy of the specific recording that is relevant to the investigation, either by voluntarily providing device to the officer immediately, electronically, or transferring the information to the officer or the department so that the person may retain possession of his or her device, the recording, and any personal non uh, non evidentiary private information contained on the device. Uh, if the person consents, so basically you either have to have a warrant, subpoena by a judge, summons by a judge, or have to give consent. So, somebody got the TV on?
No, I have my mic muted.
Oh,
Let's see. Does it? Hang on.
PTB, that's you?
I'm on mute.
Oh, somebody's.
Look, you see my icon? You see it says police to police watch. Now you're gonna see it muted.
Oh, okay. I don't know. There's like some kids in the background. Okay, if the person consents to electronic transfer for the recording, the electronic transfer shall take place as soon as possible and without unnecessary delay. In circumstances when the immediate electronic transfer is not predictable, not predictable, or if a person does not consent to electronic transfer of the evidentiary information to the seizure of the device, the officer may arrange for the transfer or delivery of the information or device with the person to the officer of the department by any alternative means consistent with any policies and procedures of the department.
So I have a question on that then.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So if you say no, I'm not going to give you my phone,
Uh-huh.
or no, I'm not going to give you what I have, then they have to give a judge to sign a warrant, correct?
Correct.
So that means they can only detain you for so long. So, you know, to keep you on site to get that video. So a judge's signature takes hours, maybe like an hour at the latest,
Right.
at the soonest. So they can't detain you for an hour.
No, they can only legally detain you for 15 to 20 minutes being tops.
So if you say no, and they wait on the judge's signature after, let's say, 30 minutes at most, you're free to go.
Yep.
So they don't get it. Fuck them.
Right, and if they go over that lawful time, you can sue them for detaining you for unlawfully, even if they did find something. Right.
I just wanted to mention that to make sure I was on the same page.
Yep, we are on the same pencil on that. Number 7, notwithstanding the provision listed above, an officer has the authority to temporary seize and maintain the control over a device that was used to record an incident involving an officer for no longer than 22 hours to obtain a search warrant when certain circumstances exist such that an officer believes it is necessary to save a life, or so they have to see that. Let's just say they actually see a crime committed on your cell phone, right? And then they say, hey, we got to use that as evidence. That would be reasonable. That might even be probable cause because they actually seen a crime happen and it was on your device. So you have to give it to them, but they can only have it, I believe, up to 72 hours. 72 hours to obtain search warrant. But that to obtain a search warrant.
And that search warrant means when a judge sign it or sign a search warrant, it could only be what that search warrant is for. So if it's a gallery, right, that means they can only go through the gallery. That means they can't go over the last phone call, call logs, emails, anything like that. It's specifically for that warrant.
Yes, that is correct. That is absolutely correct.
So I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
When you see the police confiscating people's, is this only Colorado? Because when you see other auditors, their shit gets confiscated constantly, and it takes them almost a year, if not a year, to get it. What's allowing? I mean, is that shady?
This is what it boils down to. I can speak on Colorado. I don't know about other states. Like, once your thing is confiscated for evidence, they can keep it until the court case is over. And that's allowed in the state of Colorado. And let's say, and then I spoke about this earlier, I found this out during my arrest trial. I got my firearm confiscated for evidence, but my legal team.
That was about a year, right?
Yeah,
PTP?
they had it for a year.
Okay.
Or actually a little over a year.
Okay.
But, the judge and my legal defense team even told me this. I won my case, right? The case was dismissed. Even though I won my case and the case was still dismissed, right? And you beat all your charges or whatever, the judge can decide to release or keep the property. not release, even though you won.
Wow.
Kind of the same thing when I first got arrested, and after I beat my case, I still had to get clearance from the prosecuting or the DA had to let the evidence department know, hey, you can go ahead and release his phone. So that
Yep.
whole time, yeah. So
Yep.
PTP is correct. So they can, even though it's foul as fuck, I should be able to get my shit as soon as I win the fucking case. um, and honestly, we never even went to trial because it was actually dismissed. Um, hey, Mexican long hair is here.
And by the way, that's for all the state of Colorado. What I just said. But also, let's say you beat your case, right? The prosecutor has 72 hours to respond to release the evidence to the judge, and then the judge is the presiding factor of yes, it gets released or no, it doesn't. But the
Yep.
prosecutor has 72 hours after the day of the victory.
And let's just say, like, if he never gets a hold of the judge, and he just never gets a hold of the judge, they have no choice but to release that property back to the person who originally owned that property. So,
Correct.
what's up, man? Welcome to the show, MLH.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I fell asleep. I missed your call, Kdot. So, I was catching a nap, man. We've had an eventful couple of days, man. So,
we have, man. We actually have. Yesterday was just. Whew.
yesterday was weird, man.
It was just weird yesterday, yeah, for sure.
It was left field.
Yeah, it was crazy.
What's up, old man?
Yeah. Shut up, man. I need my naps, man. Leave me alone.
So we're just if just to fill you in, we are actually just going over the policy of the world police. In certain sections, we're going over how police should deal with public photography.
Yeah, this is interesting, and I don't know how far you've gotten into it, Kdot. My apologies. Like I said, I was pretty much napping, man. I was fucking tired.
Hibernating.
I was, man. I was totally out, man. I got messages, and then I saw you called, and a bunch of other stuff going on. But it's interesting that you brought up policy, Kdot, because they are definitely not following policy, and this is the problem that I have with the consent decree. A big problem that's overlooked in their vast survey slash whatever it is that they're trying to say that Aurora has improved on. The problem is they don't abide by their policy. If they can't abide by their policy, now okay, I'm gonna preface this by saying KDOT and I put in complaints today about the video that's on my channel and the live that's on KDOT's channel that we did last night, right? There was a very unexpected encounter, and I did not expect what happened last night. Let's just, get that out of the way. It's a little out of character for me to act the way I did last night, but I make no apologies because it was fully warranted, right? There was basically what happened. If you guys haven't seen the videos, KDOT was, I don't know what this guy was trying to do. He was like 2-foot gnome trying to intimidate KDOT. And by the time I got there, he was still up in KDOT's grill. And KDOT kept his cool. And normally, KDOT would have went off with every F word and every other word in the book that there is. But instead, it was me, right? And I'm glad it was me because it's a stark contrast of styles, right? And it was perfectly warranted because what else is it going to take for these tyrants to understand that they have to start abiding by their policies, right? Every single chance they get, they obstruct the view. If you watch KDOT's live before I got there, there were at least 3 or 4 instances where a couple of rookie cops got in the way, and short stack is what I called him last night. Decided to get in KDOT's face, so it was purely distractive stuff, and it may, even if there was nothing nefarious going on with the stop, it gives the appearance that there is something nefarious going on with the stop. So why do they continue to violate their own policies and continue to do these stupid things
Hmm.
in which in which it gives an appearance that they're doing something wrong, and that's the shit that needs to get cleaned up, police department nationwide, and it has to start somewhere, and it has to start here in Aurora, Colorado, right?
And you're
Right.
absolutely right. And you know what? And I think the reason why I was super chill because I wanted to make sure because I sometimes I notice like sometimes in my videos I can possibly get really easy distracted and really focus just on the officer. And
Right,
that's what they want. And it's
right.
kind of like the same thing when it comes to like shoplifting. You'll have somebody trying to ask the you'll have a person who's the distractor. There's a person that's actually shoplifting,
Yeah,
and then there's an
yeah.
onlooker.
No, and
And
that's
it is the
that. Yeah.
same method that they were trying to do with me.
They always do that. If there's only one, this is why it's also important that people team up whenever possible, right? If
Yeah.
you're a cop watcher or you're recording the police, it's always good to have another point of view there, right? So the reason that I got upset is
Hmm.
because that guy had absolutely zero reason to get that close to you, K Dot. And he
Yeah.
was itching for you to touch him or have a reason to put his hands on you. And I knew it. And that's why I
Yeah.
flew down there. I wasn't going to take it.
What?
Um,
Let me barge in real quick. What
yeah,
a difference between night crew and day crew of Aurora PD.
yeah,
The night crew are monsters. They are straight predators on the prowl, hunting in groups, out to violate every single right they can. It is
right,
scary.
right.
Night crew frightens me.
Yeah,
And
yeah. The night crew.
not only that, but the night crew are usually me and MLH was discussing this today. That those are usually the rookies.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
usually the rookie shift because they got to earn their spot to get good shifts. You
Well,
know
and then they always have the chiseled veteran that teaches them all the wrong things. This is a
exactly,
this is
exactly.
this is another inherent thing wrong with how they do things, right? You just pointed something out, K Dot, and you, Aurora. The night crews are always worse because of what K Dot pointed out. They've got rookies, and then they've got these veterans that teach them the wrong way to do things, right? It was a pure escalation. There was zero reason for any escalation last night.
Yeah,
Zero. There was no reason for anybody to get anywhere near KDOT, and that's why I took exception, and it pissed me off. And sometimes it takes a lot to piss me off. I even had a couple of good friends contact me and say, you know what, you kind of need to calm down. And I was like, look, you don't need to go there. I appreciate your opinion, and I value that you. It's sort of like how you were with me, K Dot.
right.
I had conversations with you. Hey, maybe if we tone down a little bit, maybe think, but it's not the case. So the only way to get their attention is to do the types of things that KDOT does and other auditors and myself now. I'm not going to be pushed around, and I'm not going to let anybody push KDOT around, PTP, anybody in the Denver scene, Aurora. Aurora, we we happened to see you catch a couple of cops napping, and I'm not going to stand by and let these guys try to intimidate anymore. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy in front of me, porn stash number 2, because if you remember, I have porn stash 1 on my channel from way back, where he tried to intimidate me as well. But now they got another new rookie porn stash guy out there. Um, his name is like Pettit, Pettis or Pentis is his name. I
Yeah.
call him Penis, but
Or
but
pedo. Or pedo.
right,
Yeah.
right. And he tried to do it with me. And the guy, look, I'm not much bigger than Short Stack that was there, but I was bigger than Short Stack. And then Pentis decided he's like a foot taller than me. He's probably what 6'3", something, or 6'2", somewhere in there. and he, towered over me, but I got right up in his grill because I'm like, look, you're not going to intimidate me with your stupid vest tactics. You know how they put their thumbs in their vest and all that. And I told him, I said, I have a vest too, and look, I can do the same fucking thing, right?
Right.
So you're not going to do that to me, and you're definitely. I mean, look, it's not like Kdot needed the help, right? And he kept his camera focused on what was going on with the arrests, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But you can consider me the distraction in that whole thing. And
Right.
Mr. Shortstack decided that he wanted to laugh about it. Well, when you laugh on scene over something super serious like an arrest, you're going to get an earful from me. You're going to get an earful from KDOT, and you're going to get an earful from the entire Denver crew, Denver Metro
Right.
crew. So
Yeah.
it just the way that it is, and welcome to it if you want it. So
And
anybody
that's true.
listening, and it is true, and it shouldn't be that way, KDOT. I don't want to act that way. I know you don't want to act that way, but the only way to get through to these tyrants' heads and make sure that they know that you're not intimidated is sometimes going above and beyond and making them know that you're there and you're not afraid of them, even though at any second they can pull that gun out, shoot you dead, and probably get away with it.
So
And 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 here's
I want to add
and
on
here,
that.
yeah. Go ahead,
So
BTB.
you know, I, I was an NCO in the military. Okay, so this is the way I look at cop watching, and this is the way every auditor has their own way, right? And every cop
Mm-hmm.
watcher has their own way. Now, when I was an NCO, I realized, and it took me a few months to realize this. Um, so I don't know if you guys know what smoking is. Smoking, you're lower enlisted, right? So as an NCO, your job is to make sure your guys are in check. And if they fuck up, some people you could talk man to man to, and some people you got to get in their face and discipline them and make them do push-ups, right? So it's called smoking. That's the way I look at it as cop watchers, right? Some you could talk to man, or man to woman, or
Yeah,
whatever, and they get
yeah,
it in their head. Some, like last night, this won't fucking get it. No matter how much you antagonize, how much you push, how much you yell at them, they just think they're right. Okay. Now that's my point of view on that. Now
Okay. And
the
um.
other thing
Mhm.
is I've came to realize when I was a cop and I was on the night crew, I did swing shifts. I was night crew, I did day. They put the more aggressive people on night crew because
Mm.
they deal with more calls, they deal with more domestic violence, they deal with more activity. So they put more of the aggressive, the ones that stand tall, don't that talk shit. They know how to play the game. They put those
Mm.
ones at night because those are the ones that fucking start shit, and they're the ones that see the shit.
yeah,
And honestly, if you guys really think about it, the officer involved shootings, right? Mostly, I think most of those shootings
At
were
night.
at night.
yeah, yeah,
So, and not only that, when me and MLH were assaulted, you know what I'm saying? Night.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, your
Well, I've
case,
seen.
PTP,
Look,
when you were assaulted, that
yeah,
was a night person.
yeah. Let's
So,
dispel this rumor real quick, though, K. Dot.
okay.
Stupid shit happens during the day too.
Oh
Let's not
yeah, you're
let's
right.
not let's not just dismiss the day crew, because the day crew, I've seen a lot, and the day crew can be every bit of as bad as the night crew. It's just that in the daytime it's a lot clearer for other people to see, members of the public, so they tend to behave just slightly better, not
Yes.
much, but
Right.
slightly
But
better.
that slightly better is still better than what's going on tonight, though.
Right,
Right.
right.
True that.
Well,
And
look.
you know, and honestly, to tell you the truth, the ones that are fighting and clawing for that day crew is because I think that's a reward. Really, if
Yeah,
It
anything, I
is.
yeah.
think in really any type of job setting, you want to get the days
You know how to
for the
piss a
most
cop
part.
off? You know how to piss a cop off? Put him on a swing shift.
I don't mind swing shift. I
Yeah,
think swing
yeah.
shift is. I'm cool with swing
Yeah.
shift.
Hey, by the way, 357, my bro in chat, man. I hear you, man. I've had, two or three people utter the same sentiments. I really never really seen you like that, and but be careful. They look. Kdot and I had this discussion last night. We're willing to die for this cause.
Yes.
So if they're gonna do something, I can guarantee everybody right here on this live, whether you're listening from my channel, Kdot's channel, or any other channel, we are willing to take the bullet. But I
Right.
can assure you that neither Kdot or myself will be doing anything wrong with any of that. And I
Right.
will not stand for somebody trying to surround Kdot, especially PTP, anybody that's close to me. But it just rubbed me the wrong way. I already had a bad day yesterday with Regan getting arrested and all that bullshit. So yeah, you caught me in a bad mood, and that sucks for you, I guess, cops. But I guarantee KDOT or I, PTP, anybody else out there that I know, we're gonna be doing the right thing. We're
And
not gonna break the law.
and,
So
and and you're so right on that. You're so right on that, and it's true. And I'd also like to comment on Wizard. The lower seniority people also have to work nights, and that's very much true. Um, I know when I was doing security, and I was in security management, we would have overnight officers who really couldn't deal with people overnight because usually the facility would be closed. All they have to do is just
Yeah.
do the perimeter check. They don't have to be around people, and it's quiet. Whatever, they got their job done. You know what I'm saying? And so we just kept. They just didn't do well with people,
And
or maybe in a team setting. So yes, Wizard, you are absolutely right.
you know,
Um,
if you get all three of us together, get MLH, DJ, and myself, we're
oh,
the three musketeers, and we don't fuck around.
oh,
We
we don't.
we play the game of fuck around and find out, okay?
Mhm.
And we're very good at it. So fuck around and find out. But
Um,
so in the military, I don't know. This has been proven time and time again. If you look at the people on the machine guns and like the fucking Nat V's, Humvees, the gunners, or even like the 240 gunners. I know that's like jabber to you guys, you don't understand it, but to the veterans out there, they do. The gunners are the lower enlisted. They're the ones that are like E1, E2, or no rank at all. Just came in out of basic. They pit the lower enlisted at the gunner position because you're more likely to die in that position, right? And the reason why they do that is because they're less experienced, right? So what if you put a sergeant that's been in for 5 years or 6 years in a gunner's position? He's harder to replace than someone that's only been in for a year or two.
It's
okay,
all about money.
it is.
They
It
spend
is.
more money on the sergeant than they have on the new guy.
Correct.
Technically,
Correct.
yeah.
'Cause then now they got to go in and repay someone else to be in that sergeant position and so forth. And I look at it this way: war's a racket, of course, right? And when someone dies, overseas, they only pay the family $400,000. So that's what a soldier's life is: $400,000.
Wow.
Okay.
wow.
Wow.
Now, so when you sign that contract and you take that oath and you go to a war, right? Your life is $400,000. Don't ever, just imagine that, right? It's fucked up to think. And you're just another number to them. If you die, you could be replaced tomorrow by another guy that's going to go to the recruiter's office and raise his right hand and take an oath.
Your government property.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your government property, literally government property. And the
Until
thing, yeah.
until the day you die, because when my dad
And that's what I
got
say.
When my dad got in trouble a few years ago, they automatically turned everything over to the veterans. He had to go
Yep.
through. He had to go through military court. Once you're a soldier, you're always a soldier.
Like I got in trouble overseas in Kuwait at Camp Beering. It was 128 degrees outside almost, okay? 128 degrees. It was a fucking oven.
Wow.
I put sunscreen. I'm a white guy. I put sunscreen on. I got sunburnt. After I put sunscreen on, okay? They gave me Article 15. I got in trouble for getting a sunburn because of destruction of government property.
Oh.
Ain't that some shit?
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow, PTP, you better not get sunburned, bro.
Whoa.
Bro,
Hold
I'm
on.
like
forbid
a
you get
fucking
sunburned.
lobster. It's bad.
Whoa. Hold
But-
on, God. That deserves a.
Look,
But the policeman in America, I look at it this way. I've been to war. I've seen
Whoa.
war. I've seen this. But the police in America, you're more likely to die by hands of police in America than a domestic or by a terrorist overseas. Now,
That's
tell me
very
why
true.
that's not scary.
Well, there's this is a good point, PTP. Somebody tried to call me out. I don't know if you remember our friend Kdot. I'm not even going to mention his name because he's not worthy of me mentioning his name. But somebody tried to call me out with comments saying, how do you put into account that only 1,000 people per year are killed by the police, but citizen on citizen deaths is 50,000.
No, that's
And
incorrect.
hold
That's
on,
incorrect.
hold on, PTP. I know it's incorrect, but I didn't even call them out on that. I'm going to take them at their word with those numbers, and I'm going to throw them back in their face. And I'll tell you how. Let's say that was true for the sake of argument, right? Because I know it's not true. But
Okay.
let's say that is true, right? There are what I think the number was 100, a little over 100,000, 100. It's a I can't remember if it's 100 or 170,000 police officers in this country, right?
Oh,
So
800,000. 800,000.
okay, so let's. I think the number I saw was 700,000 KDOT, but I could be wrong. But
Yep.
anyways, let's
800,000.
say that it's under 1 million people, right? So a
Yeah.
thousand per million. All right, do the percentage on that. It doesn't seem very high, right? But
Right.
50,000 among 350 million people that live in this country. It's effing minuscule compared to the amount of people that police kill in this country every year.
Now,
So,
Right.
you said cops kill 1,000 people per year, right?
yes, but
Now,
it's not right.
that's
I
incorrect.
know. I understand that's
That
wrong. But
it's a
Yep.
thousand people that are unarmed on average
unarmed.
a year.
Yes.
On average
Yeah.
a year, ten
Yeah.
thousand people are killed by cops.
Yeah.
That's on
Yeah.
average every single year. That means like cop involved shootings. They both are shooting at each other, whatever.
Right.
That's
Right.
cop.
And
Right.
here's the thing, not only that, I don't know what happened, but not only that, the number one thing that kills cops are traffic accidents.
Yes. Yes. They drive like
So it's
maniacs
not
too.
even involved, not even shootouts.
So I
So when
was
they say,
that's a great point, Kdot, and
Mhm.
that's another reason why we should hold them accountable when they don't use when they use their lights to go through red lights, when there's no
Right,
call, when they speed with no lights at
great,
any time. I mean, that's breaking
correct.
the law, right?
Am I
Right.
So
back?
we, yes, you're back,
Okay,
PTP.
sorry about that. I
No,
had
it's all good.
my phone.
So we definitely should hold them accountable in those instances as well. You know,
You're absolutely right. Yeah,
that
and yeah.
that's a very underrated thing that people don't pay attention to
Hmm.
is the way that they drive. They drive like absolute maniacs because they drive like they're on an emergency call almost at all times. Don't use their turn signals. It drives me nuts when I see somebody that does not use their turn signals. It's one of the stupidest things you can do because if you're driving and you don't use turn signals, the person behind you normally doesn't leave enough room, which is a problem in itself. But nobody can know what you're thinking. At least
Right,
we have a baseline way of thinking if you're using your turn signals and you're doing the right thing on the road. I'm not saying all of us are saints when we drive. I'm just saying the basics need to be done by them as well. But
right.
what they're taught in the academy is how to be fast and furious every fucking time that they're on the road.
Oh
And
yeah, we filmed it that day.
yeah,
We were
we
like, what
filmed
the fuck is
that.
going on?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was about a week and a half ago. We were at the academy, and you could clearly see that they were training them with fast and furious maneuvers. Which I understand. You have to have a separate standard of training, but you only use that training when it's absolutely necessary, not when it's normal day to day driving.
Right.
And you see it all the time. I've seen cops weave in and out, pass people up like no tomorrow with no lights, and it's crazy. And they
Hmm.
wonder why people have a hard time with them, even with stupid little things like that. If they could clean up the little mistakes, we would have maybe a tiny bit more respect for them.
And,
Yep.
and I would agree with Ghost Rider on this. It's more dangerous to be a tow truck driver than a cop. And actually, the number one dangerous job in the world is actually a tree cutter.
Yeah, yeah, and that's another interesting thing. I'm glad Ghost brought that up too. It used to be back in the day, it was a super dangerous profession to get in, right? But because they didn't have license to kill people on site. Now it's one of the safest jobs because you can literally get away with murder in that job. If somebody scares you, you shoot them, you kill them, you're most likely going to get off. Like it's a 99% chance you're going to get off, right? No
So,
matter what.
so Colorado has a law now where if a top, let's say, cop, there's a chase going on, a vehicle in pursuit. If it hits a certain speed, they have to back off for public safety. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So there's that. Uh.
Oh, you're
You know.
talking about high speed chases, PTP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. I am.
I
But
high speed chases should not even exist
that's why.
Right.
That's why they got rid of it in Colorado.
ever.
If it pops over 90, they have to back away.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to. They can no longer pursue. Now, I agree with that because at that point you're putting
Everybody at
the
risk.
public
Yeah,
Absolutely.
in risk.
yeah.
Children in the street. Other pedestrians, other drivers.
School
Everybody,
zones, all those.
including yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah.
so I don't agree with that. I've been through the training of the fucking weaving in and out of cones, the spinning your
Mm-hmm.
car in the 360, hit your brakes. I've done all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's nonsense because you never fucking use it.
Right. Well, and then they got those stupid techniques like fish hooking and all the stuff
Pit
that
maneuvers,
yeah, pit maneuvers and all that.
which
All of
you're
that is
more likely to die by
incredibly.
a pit maneuver. If a cop were to do a pit maneuver, there's been plenty of cases of people dying. There was a pregnant woman that got pit
Yep. I
maneuvered,
remember
and
that. I
Yep,
remember that
she
one.
lost her
Yeah.
yep.
kid.
Yes,
She
sir.
lost
Uh-huh.
I
her baby in her stomach.
I want to go back to something you said, PTP, that rings really true. All right, the 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 police also have a big time white supremacy problem, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely been studies on that. There's been the police forces nationwide have been infiltrated by people that with this mindset that they're superior to other people because of the color of their skin, which it's fucking 2022. All right, it's not 1950 anymore, 1940s, any of that shit. So that shit just should not even exist. But you brought up something too. You talked about the military, PTP. The police departments nationwide have a military problem. They are
Yep.
becoming more and more militaristic in nature, whether it's their gear, their tactics, their demeanor, their training. It's all coming to a head. And
Yep.
something, Kdot and I talked about this yesterday. We have to just completely start over. The defund the police movement is people think of that and they think of, well, if we didn't have police, what would happen? We need to start there. We need to start defunding or start over. Period.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
Those are
I
the
say.
those are the two choices.
Yep.
Right.
Defund or start over.
And
Tho-
in Aurora's case, in Aurora police case, I think the whole damn department needs to be demolished and everybody needs to be fired and then restarting over again. It happened in New Jersey County. I'm sorry, in Camden County, in New Jersey, and they have not had really any major problems. They dispersed that whole entire department, redid it, gutted it out, got every. I even think they even did a new building for it, if I'm not mistaken. And they hired everybody new because it just gotten incredibly out of control. They didn't know who the criminals and who were the goddamn authority.
yeah.
That
Yep.
that's crazy. That's really amazing though that the city actually did that. I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
takes some balls. Well, the main problem is the police unions.
Yes.
That's who's actually running these streets. It's not
Yeah.
the people with the guns, it's the people in the union.
You-
That's what we need to get rid
It
of. Our
it
public
I
servants
agree.
don't need to have a
And
union.
I'm
it's
happy
kind
you
of
brought
funny.
that up.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that everybody has a problem when your local Walmart wants to unionize, right? These
Yeah.
low line workers, like the companies fight tooth and nail because they don't want to pay more than $2 an hour for everybody. You know what? That's an exaggeration,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying. They don't want to raise the minimum wage, right? Okay, fine. Don't raise the minimum wage. But what about the police unions? Let's get rid of those too. Let's just
Right.
not have unions altogether, right? I mean,
Well,
let's do it.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. The issue is, as far as the unions, the issue that I have with the unions is they're not held accountable because they are a private agency. The thing is, they anytime their officer does any type of crucial thing and they're convicted and charged and convicted, they should absolutely be punished. And not only that, you cannot join this union unless you have some type of insurance,
Right.
that liability insurance, uh,
Yes, absolutely.
for it's the same thing. I mean, doctors have it.
Yep.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
If
for
you
malpractice
for
insurance.
Lawyers have
malpractice,
it.
I
Yep.
used to
yeah,
have it as
I have it. Honestly, as a DJ, I have
Yeah.
insurance. I
Yeah.
have
As a
insurance
doctor.
because if any, I have a $2 million policy. If anybody, if I were to conduct an event, right, and somebody ends
Right.
up being killed at my party, and the family could possibly sue me for wrongful death
Yeah.
because I didn't provide. Let's just say I didn't provide security. You know what I'm saying? And somebody ended up being shot at my party that I administered. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I'm going to be sued for that. So not
Yeah.
only do I make sure when I conduct these parties, I also make sure the security team that I hire that they have insurance.
You know,
Yeah.
something that would immediately alleviate a little bit of the pressure that's going on, guys,
Mhm.
is these some of these little issues that we're talking about, right? Last night was a good example, K Dot. You know, simply blocking the
Silly.
camera. Like when you file a complaint, and we filed complaints today about
We
it.
did. We
It's
did.
not going to matter because they always come back and they say, you know, whatever. Oh, we did a review on an internal review on ourselves, and we found that we did nothing wrong.
Nothing
Right?
That
wrong.
needs to
That's
go.
That
That
is
needs
the
to
crazy
fucking
shit.
go.
it is crazy. It is
Yeah.
crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a fundamental breakdown of you know, it's a failure of communication, right? So
Right.
so if you have that, but if they could simply take the step on these petty matters, right? Because I view this as very petty. Like
Yeah.
we can go and we can file an affidavit, and when you know, if we could prove our case, we could win up to, I don't know, I think it's like $15,000 if it when it's all said and done.
Five
That's
hundred to 15,000. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very paltry amount. If they could just admit when they're wrong for these petty little offenses, then maybe some things will start to change, right? The officers won't get in the way of a camera. They won't get in your face when you get to a scene. They won't do these things. If they start being penalized, even these small amounts, then maybe those little things will start to change.
It,
And we
I
won't
was.
have,
it,
I'm
when
yeah,
sorry.
when
Go ahead.
when I was in the military, I used to tell my soldiers this when I was the NCO. We practice to make better. And we want to focus on the little things because those little things will get us killed. Right?
Very true.
So you
It's
want to
not the
be
big thing; it's
poised.
the little things.
You're
You're right.
correct. You want to be
Yep.
poised. You want to make sure you're alert. You know, if you get comfortable in a situation, that's when shit fucks up.
Right.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you know, it's the little things that gets people hurt.
yeah.
Most
And
felonies
Yeah.
use the blinker.
that's a
Someone
good
merges in your
point.
lane, accident
That's,
happens.
yep.
Boom. It's the
That,
little things. It's common
yeah.
sense. And
Well,
Yeah.
most
it's
people
it's
don't
like
have it.
it, right. It's like what K Dot and I said last night with this guy getting in K Dot's grill. I mean, like I said, he was 2 foot gnome. He couldn't have been like maybe 5'2", 5'3", somewhere around there. I mean, I
Yeah.
towered over him, and I'm pretty short, you know. But
Yeah, you're a
I
hobbit.
mean, right. But I mean, it's little things like that that are going to get people killed, and we pointed that out last night. You're going to get somebody killed, right?
Yep.
Like I mean, not the other day, but a few weeks ago when that shooting occurred in Denver, K Dot and I encountered that cop, and it's on my channel. It's on K Dot's channel. Um, Officer Ramos. That guy is going to get somebody killed because he immediately wanted to escalate everything
Yeah.
instead of de-escalating, leaving us alone, you know, letting us do what we do. We weren't doing anything wrong. If you're not doing anything wrong and you leave us the fuck alone, nothing's going to happen, right?
Correct.
Go pay attention to your stop. We're not a threat. I don't have weapons on me. K-Dot doesn't have weapons on him. We have cameras. right? The
Right.
end. I mean, you might go over there and check us out if you don't know who we are, which by now all of Denver and all of Aurora knows who we are, and
Pretty much.
Lakewood and everywhere else in Denver metro area.
Yeah.
But and they've had briefings on us, so we know that for a fact. So you know who we are. You know we're not carrying. So there's no reason for alarm when we show up. But
Right.
let's say it's a cop that doesn't know us. You go up and you size us up, make sure that we're not, we're not a threat, and then you go back
Right.
to doing what you're doing. The end,
And and
right?
Not
and
not
and,
even
and,
so
and
much. Not even so much that, right? This is what I would do if I was in that situation. Okay, I've heard about these people, kind of know what they look like. We know their channel. They know they record us. Blah blah blah. I've never encountered them, right? Now
Right.
this is me. This is me pretending to be a cop in this situation, right? We know they're harmless. They're not gonna start shit unless we start shit. I've never encountered them. I see
yeah.
you guys out there. I'm gonna walk up and be like, "Hey, man, I'm Officer So and So with Aurora Police Department. I've never really met you guys. I've heard about you guys. Thank you for what you do. Everybody needs to be held accountable and transparency. I'm employed with Aurora Police Department. My name is this. Are you so and so? I'm not gonna say your name. I'm gonna say your YouTube channel. Oh yeah, that's me. Well, pleasure meeting you. You know, you guys be safe and keep up what you're doing. And that's it.
That's
Wouldn't that
it.
be nice? That's
That is it. Wouldn't that be nice? K Manley did just that.
Yeah,
Did just that. Textbook.
nice.
yeah, yeah. 357 brings up the ego thing. It's all about ego. I mean, I think,
Oh God.
I think,
And
I
so
think.
this is where
Yeah,
we're gonna get to this particular part of the policy right here because we got to
yeah,
finish this up. Um, so it says the above provision do not apply to devices seized incident to arrest. Officers may not retaliate against an individual for recording or attempting to record an incident. Again,
Hmm.
officers may not retaliate
they
against an
never.
individual for recording and attempting to record the incident. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what the fuck happened
Yep.
last night.
Yep,
So
yep. And that's what happened to us when we got assaulted by that idiot officer who decided to push
Yeah.
us in the back, Kdot.
Yeah,
It's
that too.
look,
Yeah.
they do not. Well, that's Denver, so I'm sure they have a similar policy in Denver too. I haven't looked at their policy book in depth,
Oh,
but I'm
I
almost
have,
certain.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I know,
I'm,
and I
I'm,
have too. But
God, it was a long, it was
I'm
a
going
yeah,
lot
to
of fucking to
whistleblower.
read, man. I mean,
yeah.
eight hundred
It's
and seven pages.
I'm
yeah, it's
Jesus
going.
like
Christ.
800 pages, man. I mean, it's
Eight
crazy.
807 pages. That shit is
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm going to whistleblow real quick. Okay. This is something I've never really ever said. I've kept to myself, but it needs to be said. Cops are trained. They're basically brainwashed, but cops are trained that the people are the criminals.
yeah.
Yep,
We
They're
are
your
the
enemy.
innocents.
Yeah,
that's very true. That's
yeah.
very
Now,
true, and I'm a witness of that.
and it's not
So
Hmm.
true. Not
No,
everybody out here is a gang member. Not everybody out
no,
here is selling dope. Not everybody
no.
out here is murderers.
Look,
Or
PTP,
none of
that's a
them
great
are.
point. Look, when people talk to me about people in general, right? People in general in this world are good. We're about 8 billion strong in the entire world, right? There's 8 billion people in this world, right?
right,
We got here because the vast majority, I would say 99%, and people could argue this, people are assholes or whatever, but not they're I would venture to say that less than 1% of the population are criminals,
Yep.
hardened criminals.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I would venture to say that.
So this
So,
is this
in
is
the grand scheme of things, what the main point I'm trying to make, PTP, I'm sorry to cut you off, man. The in the grand scheme of things, the vast majority of people are good in this world, not
yes.
bad,
Yes.
and
For sure.
they think the exact opposite. They think that everybody that they see is a criminal or a potential criminal, and when you think like that, you start to have these thought crimes come to your head, right? I think
Correct.
that person's going to do it, so I'm gonna force the issue, right?
Or I'm gonna
And
act
it
on it
becomes a
before it
minority
happens.
report thing, you know?
right, right.
So
Right.
this is the debate I have with cops, and I've said it time and time again to cops. Okay. So have you guys ever heard a cop tell you, "Well, not every cop's a bad cop"? You've heard that
Oh,
time and
yeah.
time again, right?
Yeah.
Well, I will say. So then you need to stop saying, "Well, every person is a criminal," because not cop is a bad cop,
Exactly.
and leave it
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man.
Stop
Right?
looking at us like every person is a criminal, and we'll stop looking at you as like every cop is a bad cop.
Exactly. Stop earning the hate.
If
Right.
taking I hate to go back to last night again, guys and gals, but if the complaints that we filed today, if somebody were to come back, because I already got a response that they put in my request for the body cams, right? Which I doubt very seriously I'm going to get body cam footage, but let's say I get body cam footage, right? But for the other part, if they would come back to say on our complaints, we reviewed your complaint and we do believe that Officer Dingbat over here messed up, and we're going to have a good talking to with them. That would be a step in the right direction. But no matter how blatant the violation is, they will not do it. They will.
Exactly.
They will fight tooth and nail on the smallest, most pettiest, dumbest things that even with video cam evidence it's like it's circular reasoning.
Yeah.
Why do you guys keep saying that there's nothing wrong here when clearly there was an agitation, there was an obstruction of view of what was going on with the arrest? How can you guys constantly say that we did nothing wrong? And the answer is they review themselves. There's no independent person that goes in there and looks at things objectively like a journalist would and say, a good journalist, right? There's very few of those in the world, but they are out there and say, look, objectively, yes, we think he did something wrong, but on the scale of 1 to 10, it probably was a 1. So let's put this in his record personnel, file. No disciplinary action really needed, or maybe a week pay without pay, or something of that nature. Like there's no penalty ever for anything. So if
Right.
there's no penalty for even the smallest of things, and they fight all the way up to the biggest of things, how can we trust them? The answer
Right.
is we cannot trust them. That's the
Right.
answer.
And here's the thing, guys.
And
And here's the
that's
thing.
how I came up with my YouTube
And
channel.
here's the thing, guys. We're gonna go over this the conduct unbecoming of an officer. So this was approved by Chris Jewell. He was not the interim chief, but he was the acting chief at the time before the interim chief was hired.
Yeah.
The one who stated that he's not afraid of me. So I know who you are. I'm not afraid of you.
So is that the actual police
Okay.
chief of Aurora right now?
That's exactly what he said.
So the guy that
Verbatim.
told
I'm
you
like,
that,
okay, where did the hell
the
that
old,
come from? But okay.
the old white guy that said he's not afraid of you, is that the actual police chief of Aurora?
That was actually if you, in during the very first consent decree meeting.
Yeah.
That MLH wasn't able to make it. He was
Right.
doing something, but I think that was like a 14-minute clip, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
I saw that, Kdot. I
Yeah.
did see
So
it.
the guy that was that guy. So we're gonna go over this real quick because this is incredibly
But is that
important.
the police chief of Aurora?
This is
Yeah.
yeah, he was the acting chief of police. So he's currently the division chief. So he's over a particular district, I should say. So we're gonna go over the conduct becoming. This is still in the general operations, chapter 14. That's why it's 14.2.1. Okay.
Mhm.
So when I read the first one as far as the public photography, that was in the 8th chapter. That's why that was 08.40. Okay. So just so people are not confused about it, like, well, how can I find it? So they go by chapters and then they have the section. Okay. Conducting. Can you guys see it? Okay. Or do I need to?
Yeah, no, we can see it, man.
Okay. All right. Conduct unbecoming. Members. And they're talking
Conduct.
about us.
I'm
sorry, conduct.
man.
Conduct. Sorry,
unbecoming.
conduct unbecoming. Sorry.
It's all good.
Members will always conduct themselves both on and off duty in a manner that reflects most favorably on the department. Okay. So I don't like that wording
I don't either.
because it should be reflective on the community.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because then it's not an us versus them thing. You're
Exactly.
making us look bad. You're making our agency look bad. Well, I'm sorry. The agency belongs to the people.
Right.
Last time I checked, we pay a bill for it. It comes out of our check
Hefty
every time
bill.
we get paid.
Hefty.
I'm just saying that, you know. So I think that needs to be worded differently. Conduct unbecoming is defined as an unprofessional conduct and irresponsibility that brings the department into direct dispute publicly on or amongst its members, reflects direct discredits upon the member and or impairs the operation of efficiency of the department member. Members will not, whether on duty or off duty, engage in conduct involving dishonest, fraud, deceit, misrepresentation.
By that measure, I'm sorry, kid, I don't mean to interrupt, but by that measure, 70% of them should be fired because they cheat on their wives or partners or whatever. So,
Right.
You know, come on, man.
And I could have sworn they had the highest domestic violence.
Absolutely, they do.
And the highest drug.
Yes.
In any working agency.
Yes.
So,
yes. When you have access to drugs like they do all the time, Kdot, it's natural, you know.
Right, when you're just going to the evidence department and you know.
Right. Whoops. Eighth of weed.
I just needed to pop a pill, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So deceit. So it says deceit, misrepresentation, misappropriation, theft. Oh well, shit. Theft. That's every day. Or which is prejudicial to the administration of justice. Misrepresentation by an officer, his or her identity, occupation, status, or involvement in illegal activity when such misrepresentation is authorized by a superior officer and done in furtherance and pursuant to an authorized law enforcement operation will not be deemed in a violation or of this directive.
They're already giving themselves an out right there, man.
Right, man. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. You know.
Oh, come on, man.
Let's get to the I. You know, what was that?
Ooh.
Where are we at?
DJ.
Huh?
Can you zoom
Here we
in?
go. This is it right here. This is what I've been trying to get to. So, so you might want to write this down too, PTP and Aurora. So it is section 14.2.18. Identification as Aurora Police Department employee. This is the butter we've been trying to get to.
Yeah,
right.
This is the big one right here.
This is the big one right here, right? Except when unpractical, unfeasible, or when their identity is obvious, members will identify themselves both verbally and by displaying the official badge or identification card before conducting official business. Members will also
yeah.
verbally identify themselves when conducting official business by telephone. Exception to this include working in undercover capacity or when divulging official identity would compromise personnel or investigation. Now, I want you to pay close attention. When you ask who you are speaking to over the phone, this includes dispatchers as well. It
Yes.
says members. That means
Right.
even civilian employees must identify themselves. Says it right there. Now, this is where I feel that it clearly states that you have to verbally conduct yourselves. So before you even speak to me, hi, my name is Officer such and such. I'm with what Aurora Police Department, badge number, blah 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 blah
What can I
blah.
do for you?
Is there anything I can help you with? Because here's the thing. Because if they come to me and from here on out, if I'm recording and they ask me, if they make contact with me, then and this is why we mirror MLH. This is exactly why we mirror. We wait until they approach us and say, I don't give a shit if it's a hey. That's official business. Because
Yep.
now they're dealing with us, correct?
Right.
So now I get the chance to ask you for your name and badge number. Now,
Yeah.
what they should have, and I think I'm going to talk to Jason about this. They need to be when any member of the public asks you for your identification, you must verbalize your name, you
Yeah.
must verbalize your badge number, and you must verbalize what department that you work for. Simple as that. And display your card.
Yeah. Ain't that's Fantasy Island right there.
Yeah, it is Fantasy Island, Aurora. But it's look, this is an ongoing issue, and we're talking about the simple things. This is the simplest of things that they could do to help ease tension, right? I'm
Right.
Officer so and so, and my badge number, or I like to say badge number because that really upsets them, and I don't really care. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my business card, or I'll get you a business card after I'm done with the business at hand here, right? So that's what I'm saying, Kdot. Like this, even the simplest of things, they
Ace
cannot
Keeper, what's
follow.
up?
They
Ellie
can't follow.
you're
Yeah.
right. And Ellie has a question. Go ahead, Ellie, with your question.
Yeah,
Um, did
and Big Heart mentioned qualified immunity. Colorado no longer has qualified immunity, and it doesn't mean jack shit. Okay, they still
Right.
they still do the same things. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. The only thing that it might change is some certain lawsuits, big high profile lawsuits where the taxpayers shoulder the burden, and that goes back to what KDOT is saying. It should go on the officer's insurance, not the public's insurance. You know what I mean? We
Exactly.
can't we can't keep paying millions and millions and millions of dollars in payouts for wrongful deaths because these guys have a license to kill. It's got to end. And the other thing that has to start happening is mental health evaluations every 6 months. It's got to start. It has to.
Yes.
and
Uh,
so
s-
it's an MLH. Can you read that question?
the question is, can we sue any police department who has serve and protect on their vehicles for false protection advertisement? The answer to that
Ooh.
question is absolutely you can, Ellie,
I think
because
you can.
yeah,
Yeah.
because anybody in this country can sue anybody else for anything in this country, right? We're a very litigious country, but do I think that anybody would win any of those lawsuits? That's a whole different matter. I doubt very
And
seriously
and and,
because
and here's why. Here's why I think you can win, because you can clearly use that case law uh, what is it?
Brock.
Gonzalez versus Castle Rock, and that would be a strong. I mean, shit. There's a fucking there literally there was a kid. I think she's grown now, but literally sued her parents for not having her permission to be born, and they won the case.
The girl won the
I
case.
swear to God. And there's another case
I want her attorney.
of a white guy who sued his parents for being white and won and won and won
Oh my god,
and
man.
won.
I can't
Because-
believe it. How much did he
Because
win?
I don't know how much he won, but he because of all the burdens of being a white person in society.
That is
and,
total white people
being labeled a racist and blah blah blah, and I mean, I wish I could make this shit up, but it's so
Wow.
fucking true.
But, hey guys, I gotta bounce. I gotta head to work. So.
Oh, okay,
Later,
man.
PTP.
Thank you for being on the show. We about to wrap up here in a few seconds anyway. But before you go, please go ahead and leave your final thoughts, sir, on this whole situation.
All right. Well, we need to start with the small stuff. We need to fix it. Well, they need to fix it, and it starts from the bottom up, or from the bottom down, right? And if you got terrible leadership, you're gonna have terrible officers.
Yeah. Good point.
Exactly.
Right. And I appreciate you being on the show, man. Thank you, man. Be safe at work tonight.
All right.
All right. Award transparency. Can you please go with your final thought?
Yes, definitely. We need to to make a change starts with we the people. We need to start learning our rights so we can start protecting our own rights, because they're not there to teach us. We're here to teach each other and ourselves. So yeah, we need definitely change needs to come, and we need to be out on the streets like you guys were last night. That was amazing. We need to start catching these people and exposing, because
Yeah.
you don't, until you live it and experience it, you don't understand
Can you-
the depth of it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what was going on. Sorry. But I'll start off with we need to make change. Small things that we need to change, that they need to change. They need to do better, and we gotta keep doing what we're doing. We gotta keep up the mission and stay focused and not let these tyrants get in our way. It might be hiccups when we get arrested or when we get tackled like I did, but you know what? It's all for the cause. We cannot back down. We have to stay strong. We have to stay united. Because the united we stand, divided we fall. And I'm
Exactly.
strongly.
I agree, and thank you, Ace Keeper, for the $9.99. Thank you, sir. That is much appreciated here on supporting this channel. I appreciate it, and thank you for supporting what we actually do over here. So thank you, sir. Continue to speak up and hold down your community. I absolutely will. Thank you.
Stand your ground. Don't give up and keep up the fight. And everybody's got to stay focused, and we have to stay united. And
I agree.
Not let these fucking pigs, destroy our community and our faith in humanity.
Right.
And we need to do better.
Right.
We can do better.
Right.
We're one step ahead of them. This is a game of chess, not checkers.
I agree 100%. And thank you for your final thoughts, PTP. And make sure you have a safe work. Make sure you have a safe night at work, man.
Of course. Y'all stay safe. Much love
Appreciate
to
you, brother.
Later, PTP.
Stay safe.
Thank you. Y'all be safe.
Take care, man.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish your final thoughts, Aurora.
Oh, before I finish, thank you, Ellie. I love you, girl. Okay. That was so sweet. I love her. gosh. Yeah, we definitely need to start speaking up as a community, that's for sure. Because I love Aurora and I love the people in this city. I really, truly do. And I hate that we're constantly in the news for the police doing
Yeah, yeah,
horrific things to us. I want to be in the news for how wonderful our people really are here. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it, of course we have issues. Every city has their issues, but as a
Yeah.
whole, we have such a melting pot here. When I moved to Colorado from California, I purposely moved to Aurora because it was the closest I got to a melting pot because that's where I came from.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we just got to keep them accountable. That's all.
And thank you. I appreciate that for that final or the final thought. And before we get to MLH, yes, and I appreciate you, El Ramirez. You're right. We are a tight knit community, and Ellie does sometimes have to put her foot up our asses sometimes to keep us in line. So, so go ahead, MLH, with your final thoughts there.
Yeah, let me real quickly address something that Go said in chat earlier, and he's
Okay.
absolutely right about the qualified immunity thing. I mean, it doesn't really mean jack shit that Colorado ended qualified immunity
Hmm.
because you can just fall back federally on qualified immunity. So
Sure can.
that's a rub, and that needs to change. Federally, it needs to change.
Right.
So instead of bickering about Biden and Trump and Democrats and Republican and all this bullshit that goes on with politics, and it's the reason that I'm neither Democrat nor Republican because they
Right.
both fucking suck.
They
The
Right.
both. They
people on
both
both
do.
sides are great, but the fucking politicians suck, and
Right.
it's perfect purposely dividing us into two factions, which is absolute horseshit, right?
Right.
Right.
So that's one point that I wanted to address. The other thing I wanted to say was about the mental health issue that I didn't get a chance to finish.
Yeah.
Was there's depending on which survey that you look at, it's anywhere between 60 to 70% of all officers are either psychopaths or have psychopathic tendencies, and that's a huge issue that needs to be addressed. We need mental health evaluations to get in. We need mental health evaluations every 6 months because I mean, you never know what can set someone off in their minds to become not right and not fit for the job that they're supposed to do. So that's my final thing. I want to thank One Big Heart. If you don't have a super chat, Big Heart, Kdot always has in his about section, I believe, Cash App,
Mhm.
uh, PayPal, all that stuff. So
I do have it in the description. I have a Cash App, and it's actually right here at the bottom. If you want to check, right here at the bottom here, right there. You can go ahead and submit uh, Cash App.
Ellie, go get a
Dollar
bitch
sign
in chat.
DJK dot 123. That's again dollar sign DJK dot 123 in all caps. So you can absolutely go ahead and do that. And thank you for your final thought. So
Yeah,
and if you could do one favor for me, because I know you do it at your show,
yeah,
can you please, since we're on mental health, can you
yeah.
please let them know
Yeah.
where they can either contact you or hotline they can
Oh, well, if you allow me, the 23 minutes that Ellie says that I'm going to be ranting on, I'll just go ahead and do my mental health speech real quick. It won't take 23 minutes. I promise. If you guys are struggling with your own mental health, please reach out to somebody that you know, love, and trust. In lieu of that, my email is mexicanlonghair@gmail.com. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a counselor, but I do listen, and sometimes that's all that matters.
Hmm.
But if you're having a crisis and you cannot wait for me, just remember somebody out there thinks you're their favorite, but there is help. Dial 988, no matter where you are in the country, and that'll get you connected with an actual professional that can get you through your crises. Or if you're uncomfortable talking with someone, you can message 988 or go to helpfulchat.org and you will get connected with somebody that can help you out through whatever crisis you're going through. Nothing is worth it. Your life, it means something. It means something to me, and it means something to somebody in your life. So there you go. That's my final thought.
I appreciate you saying
Yay!
that. Give him a round of applause here. Okay. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay, everybody, calm down. Calm down. All right. First of all, before I get started with my final thought, please go ahead and put that in the chat, Ellie, as far as Mexican long hair and Aurora Transparency channel in there, and please go subscribe to those wonderful people. Where are you at right now, Aurora Transparency, as far as subscribers? Where are you currently at?
I think I'm at 1.2K.
Oh, that just won't do. That won't
I
do.
know.
That won't do. We got to get you up to 2. We got to get you to
Right.
2. We got to support our people here, y'all. If y'all want us to go out there and do what we're supposed to do and educate like we're doing right here, as a family, we need that support. So go ahead, Ellie, and put those 2 wonderful channels in the chat. And you guys are more than welcome to head over there and subscribe, like, and share their channel, and tell them I sent you.
Right on. Thank you.
All right, I'll start with my final my final thought. Okay, so my final thought is the reason I wanted to go over this this particular subject, as far as focusing on the policies, and we'll have to do a part 2, MLH and Aurora, on the Colorado revised statutes.
Yes.
Because I think that's just as that's where they adopt their policies from anyway.
Right.
They just copy and paste the shit. So
Yeah.
I'm not oblivious to the fact, but but anyway, but yeah. So go ahead. The thing is why we went over those particular policies, because it's imperative that you know their policies as well as the law, because you're probably going to trigger the fuck out of them if you mention their policy,
Yeah.
number and section of their policy, and or at least how many pages their policy is. They're going to more likely adhere to your command and making sure they're being held accountable when you're letting them know, you better not violate my rights because I know your policy.
Yeah.
And when you articulate what's in the policy, it's going to help you in the long run. So if you are just starting or want to become a cop watcher or First Amendment or a citizen journalist, don't go in there, just start recording. Know your laws, read again.
Yep.
It is imperative. This crew over here, we read all the fucking time. Okay. We don't just look at videos. Okay. You have to fucking read. Go to the law library and do your research. Okay. Before I even picked up a camera and started doing this shit, I was in the law library for 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
Okay. Because I did not want to be an idiot with the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Seriously. I didn't want to be, we call those bystanders. No offense to bystanders. Okay. But there's a total difference between a bystander with the camera and a cop watcher who knows the law, knows his rights, and can say it verbatim. At least the federal ones. Okay?
You know what you should do, Kdot? What we should do is put together little pamphlets of certain statutes that would help any auditor getting starting out, and maybe charge $1 or $2 for them. That way you can make back your money for your time and effort, and it would help a lot of people.
I agree. I love that philosophy right there, El Ramirez. I like this panel. It's like Bible study for laws. We're preaching the gospel over here. I'm telling you. Man, I just caught the Holy Spirit. Okay. Oh,
Gonna
Tabernacle.
start speaking in tongues in a minute.
I'm about
man.
to shit about a Honda. I was ooh, it's getting hot in here. Lord.
Ellie, you're funny. Ellie.
K-Dot, but why Red Chili didn't have to read it? He is a law scholar.
I love it. I love it. Hey, we better be careful. We might be named in that lawsuit.
Yeah,
Ellie.
I'm not. Look, I
Calm
don't
down.
want no smoke. I don't want no
I don't
smoke.
want that smoke.
Look, what did 50 Cent say? He was just like, I don't be wanting a problem. When people ask me, do you want to, do we have a problem? I said, we have a problem. I say, no problem. Okay,
No problem.
no problem.
No problem.
We have a problem.
No problem.
No problem. But yeah, so that's why I wanted to do this. And you're not going to see this on a lot of people's channel where they're going to take the time to go through the, especially policy. I haven't seen it.
Right.
And because I care about my viewers and I care about educating them. I actually do want to do. Hopefully, me, MLA's Aurora, maybe Milo can get somewhere we can start teaching people. And like I said, if anything, about knowing your rights. And like I said, I DJ. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could have somebody come and cater it, and I'll DJ it, and we'll just have a great time. And maybe we'll have old school.
Oh, I love
Give
old
us a
school.
time. And old school is a stand-up comic. So
Yeah.
I think, oh my God, he has so much material
I bet.
just from our relationship show alone.
I think I gave the night that we were over there, Kdot. I think I gave old school enough.
You
comedy
did.
gold, comedy
You
gold
did, dude.
for a good year or two, man.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. And I think, and with his flip phone, he has a recorder.
His flip phone's hilarious, man, and he paid
Oh,
good money
shit.
for that too, man.
Oh shit! Shout out old school. He doesn't have social media, so he's not gonna know we said that.
Yeah.
But shout out to old school. But anyway, like I said, I want you guys to be educated when you guys are out there doing your thing. If you're an inspiring to be a cop watcher, I encourage you to do it. The thing is, you must be at peace with that. You might go to jail.
Yeah.
Just already have that implanted in your
Oh,
head
you will.
that
Not
you will go to jail. Right. You will go to jail. Okay.
Am
So
I the only one that hasn't? I might be the only
Yeah.
one that hasn't.
Yeah, I think because for the longest it was what was it? And he's a big channel, Amagessant Press.
Yeah.
And he went to jail. What was it, last year sometime? But yeah. So here's the thing. That's what I want y'all to focus on. I want y'all to actually know you guys' laws. We'll do a part 2 of this. Going over Colorado Revised Statute 16-3-311 and 16-3-103.
I'm just laughing at Ellie in chat, man. She's cracking me up, man. She never fails to give me hell, man.
We're 16-3-103. They can ask you for your ID, but they cannot demand an ID unless you committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or in the process of committing a crime. So we'll go over that as far as failing the ID. We'll go over those particular things. I think we should go over the 2 16s, and then we'll go over 1 to 13, the 13-21-128. So we'll go over those 3 CRSs, and so that you guys can just in case you ever visit Colorado and you have an encounter with go over 13-21 -131, and and we should go over that. Absolutely, I agree. So we'll go over 4 Maybe Ghost can be on that show, hopefully with us, and maybe he can help break that down to us. Because he is a wealth of information, and also he has a great channel. Go over there and subscribe to his channel as well. We have a ball doing DUI checkpoints. We just happened to shut him down. You remember that, Aurora, right?
Oh, yeah.
In MLH.
Oh my!
When I was digesting donuts right in front of them. But that's beside the point. But yeah, my final thought is be out there recording, but record with a purpose, record with a passion, and record with knowledge. Okay, don't go out there just silly-nilly with a camera. Okay, be careful what you're doing. Okay, all right, guys. That is it for this evening's the Kdot experience. Thank you to my panelists, Aurora Transparency, Mexican Long Hair, and my other brother from another PTP, Police to Police 719. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys in the panel. Thank you, and I love y'all. And I love everyone in the chat. I appreciate you guys. So appreciate you guys. Please, if you have any questions, please go to k.copwatch@gmail.com. You can reach me there. Or if you have any videos you want me to broadcast, maybe something happened to you or something that I might need to look into, please go to k.copwatch@gmail.com. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you guys for being on the show. And it's your boy, DJ Kdot. And I'm out.
Thank you.
1.